always had this interest in putting objects together and balancing them. When I started with the idea of a collection of still life pieces, I was thinking about things that had an organic background, because my work is so focused on objects that are centric to the fashion industry. In my career as a creative director, I wanted to bring in objects that had, for me, sentimental value, whether that did relate to my history in working in fashion or maybe even the history of who I am as a person. So there's objects that I had collected over time. For instance, a beautiful trip to Rome that I did with Fendi, and I love the colour of the book, but also when I pick up this book I think about my experience when I was in Rome, and for me that's one of the most significant trips that I've ever done. So I've kept this book for that reason, and I don't think I've ever really thought of it literally, but obviously it has great sentimental value to me. All of the books that I put together had these moments in time that were like little time capsules that I reflected upon. And then there are other objects that are more natural. So I've collected over the years, because I love the ocean and I love Mother Nature, I've collected all of these beautiful smooth rocks, and I love the feeling of them, and I love the tactile nature of what they do when you hold them in your hand, and they have their own energy. And then I have other objects like this beautiful glass that I just love this colour. I'm really drawn to this glass mostly because of the colour, but also this is something I've collected through my work as a creative director and sourced for a photo shoot. I just loved these objects, and I felt as though combining them together created little pieces of a jigsaw that make up who I am behind the scenes as a creative director. I felt as though the objects needed to have different shapes and heights and sizes and different forms, and that some are organic and some that weren't. So I have this collection of glassware that's, some pieces are very short and then other pieces are very tall, and in some of their imagery, when I was considering painting them, I filled them up with water, and then in others I lay the glass on their side. So I liked the difference in heights, and the fun part for me behind the scenes was being able to balance the objects and create interesting compositions with negative space, so that when you're looking at the artworks you can see that some skill has gone into the balance. But for me, balance is more about who I am as a person and balancing the different sides of who I am.